this one. you might be wondering what's going on here. Basically, we're going to take the same airflow, just sit this on top and force it up through the guts of this. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh man, look at my face. Is that muck? Gosh. So, basically I found the same blower, except bigger. In fact, this is the size that I imagined that original blower would have been, except it's electric. It's a DC motor with a nice little speed control, and this is actually really good. And the funny thing is, it was, I think it was like $36 plus shipping. It basically worked out to be the same price as the initial blower that I bought. So that's kind of hilarious. And it's got a fair bit of push, it would seem, but we'll see if that's enough. If it's not enough, I'll look into sort of sealing up the gaps around that. But the idea is that if I want to use a little bit less fuel, and if I'm only doing small stuff, I can take all of this off and just use it as I originally intended. Or if I want to do something a bit longer, forge some tongs, maybe a hatchet, sort of working towards that, well, we throw this on top and suddenly we're really pushing out the heat. That's the plan anyway. I still need to put some kind of refractory lining in here, and I'm kind of hungry, dirty, and ready for a break now, so I'll see you out here tomorrow in about 3 seconds. So I've left this piece removable because I actually don't know if it's going to work or not. So what I do need to do is put some kind of refractory liner in here, because this is only 2mm, and it wouldn't last long if it's just, you know, copping the heat all the time. Probably wouldn't last, you know, a couple of uses. So I can't seem to find fire bricks locally. So what I'm thinking is resorting to my old favourite, which is termite mound. Crush that up, add some water to it, and we'll make a bit of a slurry, and we'll just fill that in. That's going to seal whatever this is. That's going to seal this middle piece down. Yeah. Bit of sand. That's crushed up termite mound. I always add too much water. You think, oh, it's not enough, not enough. And then you mix it, and you end up with this sloppy mixture. I'm sort of going for a whipped cream. The results of too much Taco Bell sort of consistency. That's what I'm after. Let's take it up. So I've just folded up this little piece to sort of cover all these holes, so I don't have to, it's just going to make it a lot easier. I've overfolded these a little bit, so there's a bit of a draft angle, so it should come out easy. That's the plan. And actually, I really should weld something to this so I can pull it out. Yeah, I got to do that first. So I didn't really explain this well before. This piece is not welded in because when it wears out, I want to be able to replace it, and I don't want to have to be breaking tacks. So I'm going to use this termite mound fill to sort of seal it and hold it in place. But also, you know, yeah, it's easy to break that out and replace this as needed, or if it just doesn't work, it'll be easy to get out. This is the cover. That should hopefully keep all the stuff out. All right. Oh, this is amazing stuff. If you didn't have any termite mounds around, if you're just in a country where that's not really a thing, or maybe in the city, you could just buy refractory cement, or even just buy a refractory brick, but this for me is the simplest option, and especially the cheapest. And how well is it going to work? Well, I learnt this trick from an old Boilermaker, back when they actually used to do blacksmithing as part of the trade. And part of that, they had to build their own forge, and they were instructed to go find a termite mound and bust it up and bring it back to the classroom, and they used that to construct the hearth and all this. And apparently it does a really good job. So yeah. This guy, I think, watches my channels, and so when I say old, Boilermaker, he's probably a bit insulted by that. He's not that old. It just sounds more wise, It's sort of drooping a bit. That's going to be a problem. Comes time to getting this middle bit out if I'm not careful. Just a little bit wet. A little bit too much Taco Bell. The top will probably crumble. I don't really care. Okay, maybe I care a little. So we've got some Duramax high heat paint, 300 up to 690 degrees C. That's kind of impressive. We'll see. For preparation, I've just given it a light sand just to scuff it up and given it a wipe down with wax and grease remover. And we'll see how well that goes. I'd say those holes just aren't quite enough. Yeah. Just do the 4 middle ones. We'll go again. So as good as the forge looked before, I really wasn't happy with how it was performing. I knew that I could get more heat if I could just get more air into the fuel. And so that's basically what I'm doing here. That elbow just happened to be the perfect size for the piece of vacuum cleaner hose that I was using. It just fit straight inside and was a nice seal. So all that was left to do was to make up this cap and weld it in. Ooh. Mm. And that was what I couldn't get before, white hot metal. If I'm going to forge weld, I have to be able to get up to these temperatures. And so the modification was necessary and justified. So this is a holdfast. It's a traditional blacksmithing clamp, and it's going to go into the pretzel hole and work as a clamp that you just whack with a hammer to sort of hold things down, which is going to be really important for when I go to do some forge welding. Unfortunately, the piece of material was just a little bit on the short side, but you know, that's just the learning curve. I did end up making a very functional clamp, and when I quenched this at the end, I tested it with a file, and the file skated off it, so I must have the decent rebar, Rio, that's sort of got a reasonable amount of carbon in it. So guys, thanks heaps for watching, I really appreciate it. And if you haven't done so already, if you could leave a like or even subscribe, that would be really great. If not, that's fine too. I'll catch you in the next one, guys. See ya.